He removed 2 old chairs and lost something he could never get back. The chairs were the only things in the house that didn't belong. Everything else was perfect. Glass walls reflected soft golden light. The marble floors shined without a single mark. Every piece of furniture was modern, precise, and expensive, chosen not just for comfort, but for impression. Daniel had built this life carefully. Every detail spoke of success, except those 2 old wooden chairs in the corner. They were worn, scratched, slightly uneven, and impossible to ignore. Every evening, his father sat there, not on the luxurious sofa, not on the imported recliner, just those chairs. A cup of tea rested in his hands, slowly cooling, while his eyes stayed fixed somewhere far away, as if the past still lived quietly in that corner. Sometimes the wood creaked softly when he shifted. Daniel noticed that sound more than he liked. It didn't fit. And over time, it started to bother him. One evening, as the sunlight faded across the glass walls, Daniel finally said it. "Dad, don't you think it's time we replaced those chairs?" The words sounded calm, but they weren't gentle. His father didn't respond right away. He simply placed his cup down, carefully, almost as if delaying the moment. "They're still strong," he said softly. Daniel exhaled, impatience slipping through. "That's not the point. I can get you something better, more comfortable, something that fits this place." A silence followed, long enough to feel uncomfortable. His father looked at the chairs, then back at Daniel. There was something in his eyes, something quiet, something heavy, something Daniel didn't understand. Then a small smile. "As you wish." The next day, the chairs were gone. In their place stood something new, perfect, polished, and completely forgettable. The corner finally matched the rest of the house, and for a moment, Daniel felt satisfied. But the house changed, not loudly, not suddenly, just quietly. His father still came to the living room, but he didn't stay long anymore. Sometimes he sat on the new chair, awkwardly, like it didn't belong to him. The tea no longer steamed the same way. Conversations became shorter, silences became longer, and somehow heavier. Then one morning, his father didn't come at all. No creaking wood, no tea, no quiet presence in the corner, just absence. Days passed. The house remained perfect and completely empty. One evening, while going through a storage room, Daniel found them, the chairs, pushed into a dark corner, covered in dust, forgotten, just like that. He stepped closer. Something tightened in his chest. For the first time, he didn't look at them as objects. He looked at them carefully. The scratches, the faded polish, the worn edges shaped by years of touch. He ran his hand across the wood. Rough, real, alive. Then he noticed it, a small piece of paper tucked beneath the seat. His fingers slowed as he pulled it out. For some reason, he already knew. He unfolded it. The handwriting stopped him. It was his father's. "My son, if you are reading this, it means these chairs are no longer in your home, and that is all right. Homes change, people change. But I want you to remember something. These were the first things I bought when you were born. I could not afford much, but I wanted something that would last. Your mother sat here and fed you. You held on to these chairs when you learned to walk, and every night after long days of work, I would sit here, watching you sleep. To you, they may seem old, but to me, they are a lifetime. Take care of your home, my son, but do not forget the memories that built it." The paper trembled in Daniel's hands. The room felt smaller. He slowly sat down on one of the chairs. It creaked beneath him, and suddenly, everything came back. Not as sound, but as memory. A smaller version of himself. Unsteady steps, tiny hands gripping the wood, his mother's laughter filling the room. His father sitting quietly, watching, right there, in the same place. The house had never been empty. He just hadn't noticed what filled it. Tears blurred his vision, because now he understood. The chairs were never out of place. He was. And in a house filled with flawless things, the only things that had ever truly lived were the ones he chose to put away. Sometimes we don't lose things because they break. We lose them because we stop seeing them. And sometimes, when we finally do, there's no one left to share them with. If this story touched you, don't forget to subscribe for more.